it should be illegal. When you get on the bus, they don't check your ticket, they don't check your bags. You can go from California to Virginia for 150 bucks. Now, when you get on, it's like Lord of the fucking Flies to get your seat. And when you get your seat, there's actually a pregnant lady sleeping or an old man with a cane, and I don't have the balls to smack him on the head and say, get the hell out of my seat. So, now you pick your own adventure. Do you sit next to the lady that looks like she's been doing heroin for 2 days? Or do you sit next to the clean cut guy who's got big muscles and looks like Charlie Brown? I trusted my gut, and of course I chose wrong, and I sat next to Charlie. And he goes, what are you doing on the bus? Like, I'm going to teach kids kayaking. What are you doing? And he goes, well, actually, earlier today, I got out of prison for 22 years, and I'm going to a halfway house in Seattle, and I've got an ankle monitor on. Now I'm like, what the fuck? How are the jail systems getting away with this? 1 year for breaking and entering, fine, put him on the bus. 22 years for undisclosed reasons, that's fucked up. All I've got is a laser pointer and a fucking pocket knife. Now, I went to another Greyhound stop, and there would be like layovers, right? So you're like waiting for the next bus, and there was like these church pews that you would sit on, and this Amish couple was there, and they jump up, and they're like, someone kidnapped my kid, we haven't seen him in like an hour. And outside of these Greyhound stations, it's like pretty busy areas, so we're all like, what the hell? Fire department comes, the cops show up, this goes on for an hour. I'm looking in stairways, I'm looking behind vending machines. I'm like, I paid 70 bucks for a Greyhound ticket and to become a fucking search and rescue volunteer. And right as I'm about to give up, I'm like, actually, me and my family owe the Amish one. We owe the community. When I was younger, we had a family friend, he is daylight, he hit a horse and buggy with his truck. The Amish people survived, but the horse died. So fast forward to me looking for this kid. I'm like, I gotta find this kid and win this one for my family. We're even in the score, we're getting this shit back. The kid was sleeping under the fucking bench. And I'm like, dude, you guys need technology. Your kid needs a fucking GPS tethered in his foot. And then I got to thinking, are Amish people even allowed at Greyhound stops? So I Google it. They can't drive the car, but they can be a passenger as long as the driver is English and not Amish. Who the fuck is checking that? We gotta look into the Amish. They got TV shows, they're on Greyhound buses. Maybe Jesus is coming back. Alright, last story. Speaking of Jesus. My sister drops me off at the station. It takes the bus 4 hours to get there. There's a guy at the top of the fucking stairs screaming Bible verses. People are telling him to shut the fuck up. The bus gets there and they're rushing us on the bus. They're like, you got 5 minutes, we're gonna leave. So I get on the bus, I sit down, and I take one breath. This is where the fucking malpractice comes in. The driver gets in his seat and he closes like the door to his driving area, but not the door of the bus. And a 400-pound homeless guy without a ticket walks onto the bus. 400 pounds is a very large man. Sorry if anyone here fits that bill. But he walks up to the seat behind me and he just starts wailing on this 18-year-old. And it's like, what the hell? I'm the only one on the bus that stands up. I'm about to yank him off. And again, I'm like, I paid $49 to become an MMA referee on a bus? Hell no, I didn't. I sit down, he drags the kid off the bus, feeds him some uppercuts in the street, and Greyhound has these big windows, everyone's watching. The kid loses a tooth, gets back on the bus, nobody says a word. We do not acknowledge this happened. And now, there's 50 strangers in America. We all have this shared experience. They're probably up telling this story at comedy clubs right now because the shit's nuts. So if you're wondering, should I take Greyhound? Should I save the extra dollar? Absolutely, unequivocally, take the fucking Greyhound. Because shit's gonna pop off, and you're probably gonna get to where you're going. Thank you for your attention. This is my first time doing stand-up comedy. My injury was about a year ago. Thanks for sharing the live.